May 15, 2023, Oak Park, a suburb of Chicago. Around 3 p.m. on a mild spring afternoon, 62-year-old Judy Foster had just finished her weekend shopping at the local Whole Foods market. Her eco-friendly bag was filled with fresh organic vegetables and organic apple juice, a favorite of her grandson Michael. As Judy left the store and headed towards the parking lot, she glanced up at the sky. The white clouds floating in the blue sky looked as soft as cotton candy. "What perfect weather for a picnic in the park with Michael," she murmured as she approached her car. At that moment, her cell phone began to ring in her pocket. Looking at the screen, she saw it was a call from her daughter, Emma Stone. Judy answered with a smile. "Oh, Emma. What's the matter?" However, Emma's voice was trembling. "Mom, it's terrible. Michael's been in an accident." Judy's smile froze. "What did you say? Michael? What do you mean?" Emma continued, her voice on the verge of tears. "On his way back from kindergarten, he seems to have been hit by a car. We're heading to Oak Park Hospital now." Judy felt her mind go blank. "I understand. I'll be there right away." After hanging up, Judy hurriedly operated her smartphone to call an Uber. Usually, she would drive herself, but now she didn't have the confidence to drive calmly. A few minutes later, the Uber arrived, and Judy jumped into the back seat. "To Oak Park Hospital, please hurry." She couldn't hide the trembling in her voice. In the car, Judy prayed desperately. "God, please protect Michael." The scenery passing by the window seemed oddly vivid. With every red light they hit, Judy's heart raced faster. They arrived at the hospital in about 15 minutes. Judy rushed to the emergency entrance, forgetting even to thank the driver. As the automatic doors opened, the smell of disinfectant hit her nose. After asking at the reception, she learned that Michael was on the 3rd floor in the pediatric ward. As she got into the elevator, Judy took a deep breath, trying to calm herself. "I need to stay calm. I have to be strong for Michael." When the elevator doors opened, she immediately saw Emma and her husband Matt Damon. The two were sitting in plastic chairs in the waiting room, their faces pale. "Emma. Matt." As Judy rushed over, Emma stood up and hugged her mother. "Mom, thank you for coming." Emma's voice was choked with tears. Matt approached the two, and with a tired expression, began to explain. "The doctor says Michael has suffered a mild head injury. He's in a coma now, but fortunately, his life isn't in danger." Judy felt relieved, but anxiety hadn't completely disappeared. "How is Michael now? Can we see him?" Emma answered, "He's still undergoing tests. We should be able to see him soon." The three sat quietly in the waiting room, a heavy silence falling over them. Judy, remembering Michael's smile, offered another prayer. "Please, let him be all right." As night crept into the hospital hallways, Judy was dozing off on the sofa in front of Michael's room around 11 p.m. Emma and Matt had gone to the hospital cafeteria for coffee. Suddenly, a soft knock was heard, and Judy came to her senses. The door opened, and a nurse with a kind smile entered. "Mrs. Foster, were you resting?" the nurse asked softly. Judy sat up, rubbing her eyes as she answered, "No, I'm fine." "Is something the matter?" The nurse was holding a small backpack. It was Michael's favorite, with a Spider-Man design. "These are his belongings," the nurse explained. "He had them with him during the accident. They were returned after the police examined them." Judy thanked her and took the backpack. After the nurse left the room, Judy sat back down on the sofa and placed the backpack on her lap. Gently stroking the backpack, Judy took a deep breath. "Michael, wake up soon, okay?" She slowly opened the zipper and began to check the contents. Inside were his usual kindergarten things. His favorite stuffed rabbit, a small case with crayons, a half-eaten granola bar. But mixed among these, an unfamiliar envelope caught her eye. Judy frowned and took out the envelope. It was addressed to Michael's father, in beautiful cursive. "That's odd," Judy murmured. "It seems too formal for a letter from kindergarten." Driven by curiosity, Judy decided to open the envelope. A single sheet of paper came out. The contents made Judy catch her breath. "Tom, the deadline for the promise is tomorrow. If you talk to the police, who knows what might happen to your son? Make a wise choice. W.H." Judy's hands began to shake. W.H. Various names ran through her head, but she quickly settled on one. William Harrison. William Harrison was a well-known businessman in the area. He was passionate about charitable activities and respected by many in the community. And he was also the chairman of Globex, the investment company where Matt worked. Various questions swirled in Judy's mind. Why was such a letter in Michael's backpack? Was Matt involved in some kind of trouble? And most importantly, was there a connection between this letter and Michael's accident? Suddenly, footsteps could be heard from the hallway. It was the sound of Emma and Matt returning. Judy quickly put the letter back in the envelope and hid it in the backpack. The door opened, and Emma and Matt entered. Their faces looked tired but a bit more composed. "Mom, you're still awake?" Emma asked worriedly. Judy tried to smile, but it didn't quite work. "Yes. I was just thinking about some things." Matt noticed the backpack on Judy's lap. "Oh, is that Michael's backpack? Did it come back from the police?" Judy hesitated for a moment but quickly answered, "Yes, a nurse brought it." Matt looked relieved. "That's good. Was everything inside okay?" Judy looked straight into her son-in-law's eyes. At that moment, something, like anxiety, seemed to flicker across Matt's face. But it was just for an instant. "Yes, it's all there," Judy answered quietly. However, in Judy's heart, new anxieties and questions were beginning to sprout. What was the true meaning of this letter? And what kind of danger was her family facing? As the morning sun began to shine through the window of the hospital room, Judy had been unable to sleep all night. She couldn't get the letter she found last night out of her head. Michael was still unconscious, but his condition was reportedly stable. Emma had gone home to get some rest, and Matt was staying with Michael in the room. Judy took a deep breath and steeled her resolve. She had to ask Matt for the truth. She slowly stood up and faced Matt. "Matt, I need to talk to you about something." Judy's voice was quiet but filled with determination. Matt looked up, rubbing his tired eyes. "What is it, Mom?" Judy took out the envelope from her bag and showed it to Matt. "I'd like you to explain this to me." The color drained from Matt's face. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. "It was in Michael's backpack," Judy continued. That's William Harrison, isn't it?" Matt let out a deep sigh. "Mom, this is a complicated story." "We have plenty of time," Judy said, sitting back down in her chair and urging Matt to continue. "Tell me everything." Matt looked around and began to speak in a hushed voice. "Strange things have been happening at Globex." According to his story, illegal transactions were being conducted at Globex under Harrison's orders. The scale of it was beyond imagination: insider trading using client funds, diversion of funds to fictitious investment projects, and more. "I didn't notice at first," Matt said, his shoulders slumping. "But a few months ago, I started to think something was off. When I looked into it, I found out it was something unbelievable." Judy could sense her son-in-law's anguish. "So you considered becoming a whistleblower?" Matt nodded. "Yes. But Harrison somehow seemed to sense my movements." He choked on his words. "He started threatening my family." Judy felt her chest tighten. "Don't tell me Michael's accident was also..." "I don't know," Matt said, holding his head in his hands. "But it doesn't seem like a coincidence. That day, I had decided to go to the police. And then..." Judy stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the morning sunlight was making the leaves on the trees shine. It would usually be a beautiful sight, but now everything seemed faded. She had worked as a teacher in public schools for 35 years. She had experience in noticing small changes in her students and solving problems. That experience was now awakening something within her. Judy turned back to Matt. "Matt, we need to solve this." Matt looked surprised. "Mom, it's too dangerous." "The police." "Not the police yet," Judy said calmly. "We need more evidence. And considering Harrison's influence, we need to move carefully." "But how?" Judy smiled. "I have what I've cultivated over years of teaching. Connections with people, observational skills, and above all, the courage to pursue justice." Matt looked confused. "Mom, this is different from a school problem. These are professional criminals." "That's true," Judy admitted. "But criminals are human too. They always have weaknesses. We'll find them." The light that used to shine in Judy's eyes when she stood at the teacher's podium had returned. "Let's start by gathering information. Globex employees, Harrison's associates, his past, we'll investigate everything." Matt couldn't hide his hesitation. "But Emma..." "We won't tell Emma for now," Judy said firmly. Let her focus on taking care of Michael. Just then, there was a sound from the direction of the nurse's station. It seemed the morning rounds were approaching. Judy took Matt's hand. Trust me. We will uncover the truth and protect Michael and our family. Matt slowly nodded. In his eyes, anxiety and hope were mixed. Judy looked out the window. The morning sun was gradually getting stronger, heralding the start of a new day. In her heart, her determination to uncover the truth solidified. It might be a long battle, but for the sake of protecting her family and for justice, she had made up her mind to face it. A few days after her conversation with Matt, Judy was determined to take action. Michael's condition was stable, but he was still unconscious. While Emma and Matt took turns staying at the hospital, Judy decided to take the first step in uncovering the truth. First, Judy headed to the Oak Park Public Library. As she entered the library, the familiar smell of books enveloped her. Memories of bringing her students here came flooding back. But today's purpose was different. Judy carefully operated the computer and began searching for information about Globex and William Harrison. She meticulously examined local newspaper articles, business magazines, and online databases. Mr. Harrison honored again for charitable work, Globex records highest profits ever. Glorious headlines lined up. However, Judy's intuition told her that something was hidden beneath this brilliant surface. After hours of investigation, Judy summarized important information in her notebook. There were several unnatural transactions behind Globex's rapid growth. Some of Harrison's charitable activities were actually tax strategies. And there were several cases where Globex executives suddenly resigned. After leaving the library, Judy considered her next move. And the face of a certain person came to mind. Mike Johnson. He was Judy's student 35 years ago. Now he works as a police lieutenant at the Oak Park Police Department. Judy calls without hesitation. Mike? It's Mrs. Foster. I have something to talk about. Could we meet? Mike, though surprised, gladly agreed. They meet at a local cafe. It's been a while, Mrs. Foster, Mike says with a smile. Is there something troubling you? Judy takes a deep breath and begins to explain the situation. About Michael's accident, Globex's suspicious activities, and the threats from Harrison. Mike listens with a serious expression. This is a grave situation. We need a bit more evidence to start an official investigation. But, unofficially, I might be able to help a little. With Mike's cooperation, Judy was able to obtain security camera footage from near the accident site. As they reviewed the footage together, they could see Michael's condition just before the accident and the car that hit him. This license plate. Mike frowns. It's a Globex company car. Judy gasps. This couldn't be a mere coincidence. As they continued their investigation, Judy made an unexpected discovery. The advertising agency, Creative Vision, where her daughter Emma worked, was handling Globex's advertising. This connection might be an important key. Judy murmurs. Mike warns, Mrs. Foster, please be very careful. Harrison is an influential person. If you sense any danger, contact me immediately. Judy nods. As she got closer to the truth, she could feel the danger increasing. However, she was determined to move forward to protect her grandson and family. As Judy's investigation intensified, the atmosphere around her began to change. In the days of watching over Michael at the hospital, she had heightened her vigilance. One afternoon, Judy went shopping at Home Depot. While pretending to look for gardening tools, she was actually observing the employees. She had received information that a Globex affiliate was managing this store. While holding a pot in the gardening section, she suddenly felt a presence behind her. She casually turned around to see a man in a black suit watching her. Judy, trying to appear calm, moved to another aisle. However, the man walked in the same direction. Am I being followed? Judy's heart rate increased. She told herself to stay calm. Her years of teaching experience helped her maintain composure in this situation. Judy skillfully moved through the store, making sure to pass under the security cameras. Then, she approached a young female employee. Excuse me, miss, Judy spoke calmly but clearly. I feel like that man in the black suit is following me. I'm a bit scared. The employee quickly grasped the situation and took immediate action. This way, please. She guided Judy to the employee's back exit. A few minutes later, the store manager and security guard rushed over to check the situation. The man in the black suit had already disappeared, but the security camera footage was saved. This incident made Judy realize the danger she was in. When she returned home, she immediately called Matt. Matt, we need to talk. Please come with Emma. That night, the three of them sat face to face in Judy's living room. Judy explained in detail the results of her investigation so far and today's incident. Emma turned pale with surprise and fear. Mom, why didn't you tell us earlier? I didn't want to worry you, Judy answered quietly. But I can't hide it anymore. We might all be in danger. Matt said with a serious expression, we should consult with the police. It's too dangerous to continue acting on our own. Judy nodded. You're right. But we need to proceed carefully. Let's consult with Lieutenant Mike. The three talked for a long time. Finally, they decided to carefully gather evidence while cooperating with the police. The next day, Judy met with Mike again. At a corner table in the cafe, they quietly strategized. We'll start an unofficial investigation, Mike said. But please refrain from any overt actions. Harrison's influence might be greater than we imagine. Judy showed understanding while renewing her determination. I understand. But I won't give up until we uncover the truth. Mike added worriedly, please be very careful. If you notice anything unusual, contact me immediately. After leaving the cafe, Judy looked up at the sky. The sunlight breaking through the clouds strengthened her resolve even more. The pursuit of truth might involve dangers. However, she vowed to keep moving forward to protect her family and for the sake of justice. As Judy's investigation progressed, important information was brought by Jane Smith, a former Globex employee. Jane, who contacted anonymously through Lieutenant Mike, offered to provide detailed testimony about Harrison's illegal activities. To ensure caution, Judy and Matt meet with Jane in a safe place, with Mike present. Mr. Harrison was using client funds for illegal transactions for his own benefit. Jane begins speaking with a trembling voice. I have evidence. Copies of email exchanges and falsified financial reports. The evidence provided by Jane was decisive in proving Harrison's crimes. Judy and Matt's hearts swelled with hope that this would significantly move things forward. However, just as they were about to submit the evidence to the police, a call came in from the hospital. It was from Michael's attending physician. Mrs. Foster, I have news about Michael's latest test results. The doctor's voice was cautious. We've seen some positive signs. The swelling in his brain has started to subside. There's a higher possibility now that he might regain consciousness. This unexpected good news brought tears of joy and relief to the whole family. However, it also gave rise to new anxieties. But this is the critical moment, isn't it? Emma says. When Michael wakes up, will we be able to protect him? Harrison is still free. Matt continues with a serious expression, that's right. If Harrison finds out about Michael's recovery, he might try something again. Judy, holding her grandson's small hand tightly, wears an expression of anguish. If they submit the evidence and corner Harrison, Michael's safety might be threatened. On the other hand, if they remain silent, more people might fall victim to Harrison's crimes. What should we do? Judy mumbles. After a long silence, Mike quietly speaks up. I have a suggestion. Why don't we request cooperation from the FBI? They should be able to protect Michael and arrest Harrison simultaneously. The family listens to Mike's proposal with serious expressions. It might be a dangerous choice, but it could be the best way to pursue justice while protecting Michael at the same time. Judy takes a deep breath and firms her resolve. You're right. Let's seek cooperation from the FBI. But Michael's safety is the top priority. Emma and Matt also agree, and the family vows to face this difficulty together. Mike immediately begins to contact the FBI. The next few days will greatly influence their lives. They have decided to move forward with courage to protect their beloved family, for the sake of truth and justice. A few days after deciding to cooperate with the FBI, the entire family gathered in the living room of Judy's home. Lieutenant Mike was also present, and a video conference with FBI agents began. We're initiating the operation, the FBI agent announced through the screen. We'll simultaneously arrest Mr. Harrison and protect Michael. As tension filled the room, the operation was put into action. FBI teams conducted simultaneous raids on Globex headquarters and Harrison's home. Meanwhile, security was deployed at the hospital to protect Michael. A few hours later, Mike's cell phone rang. We've received word that Harrison has been arrested, he announced, and a sense of relief washed over the room. The next day's newspapers carried big headlines announcing Harrison's arrest. As details of Globex's illegal activities came to light one after another, it was proven that Michael's accident had also been ordered by Harrison. Judy, with a relieved expression, rushed to Michael's side at the hospital. Now, all that remained was to wait for her grandson to wake up. On the morning a month after Michael's accident, the morning sun shining into the hospital room gently illuminated the eyelids of the boy lying in bed. "Grandma." A faint voice was heard. Judy stood up immediately and grasped Michael's hand. "Michael! Thank goodness, thank goodness." A few days later, Michael was able to leave the hospital. When they returned home, the neighbors had organized a welcome party for them. Amidst the celebration, the mayor stepped forward. "Mrs. Judy Foster, in recognition of your courageous actions, we present you with the Silver Hero Award." A big round of applause erupted from the gathering. At the awards ceremony, Judy gave a moving speech. "Regardless of age, each one of us has the power to stand up for justice." Emma and Matt deepened their bond through this experience. The two decided to establish a nonprofit organization for social justice. Michael, on his way to recovery, smiled in his grandmother's arms. "When I grow up, I want to be brave like you, Grandma." Judy, embracing her grandson, savored the happiness of being surrounded by family and friends.